I've got plenty to be thankful for. My needs are small, I buy 'em all at the 5 and 10 cent store. Oh, I've got plenty to be thankful for.
I used to love this town. Until what happened that night. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I'm tired of pretending like everything is normal and it's not.
I want things to go back to normal, too.
Show some enthusiasm. Thanksgiving is an institution here.
Someone's out for revenge, and they're turning it into a sick holiday game.
This is weird. We're all tagged, and our names are at the table. But why us?
The longer this goes, the more twisted it gets. Every weapon he's using is straight off a Thanksgiving table.
I don't want to spend my life looking over my shoulder. We need to stop him.
It is going to be a very happy Thanksgiving.
Let's see.
I'm back. It's Benner from Black Fawn Distro, and here's another movie review. Of course, tonight I am reviewing Thanksgiving from Eli Roth, and I can't tell you how pumped I was to watch this flick. Just because, of course, it was based on the fake trailer from 2007's Grindhouse, infamous movie directed by Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez that came out 16 years ago, almost 2 decades ago. And we've been sitting here waiting for this film. There was always rumblings that it was going to get made, and it's pretty awesome that it's now out there in the universe and it exists. So listen, before we get going, just want to welcome everyone back to the channel. Thanks again for returning. If you've subscribed already, we can't thank you enough. We've just surpassed that 1,000 subscriber hump, which we needed to fully monetize the channel, which is great. Gives us an opportunity to create a little bit of extra revenue, some light income to kind of do some cool stuff with the channel and continue to provide content and reviews just like this one. Of course, if this is your first time to the channel, do us a favor, subscribe if you can, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know how we're doing. And if you do like this video in particular, give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Of course, there's lots of other great shows that we've put together as part of the Black Fawn Distro channel, including our interview series, Takeover Tuesday, our Hot Stove from Hell discussion panels, and of course, shows like this one, and of course, Kels McNell's Streams and Screams. She's got some great recommendations of other scary movies that you can check out on the streaming platforms on the interwebs. Now, listen, before I get into my non-spoiler review of this film, important to note, this show is not sponsored. We don't get this stuff for free. We actually spend our own money to acquire the physical copies to review or to stream or to rent or to go to the movie theater, buy a ticket, sit down and watch the film. So we're a big believer in that. And of course, I picked up this film on Blu-ray, Thanksgiving, of course, great cover art there. No 4K release on this, Sony. So, take note. Lots of collectors out there would welcome a 4K if it was available. But listen, still, I don't know if this film was shot digitally. It looks like it was, but fantastic presentation, great transfer on the film as well. And no complaints there. Some cool special features, which I'm going to get into in a little bit as well. Now, box office numbers, of course, this film was released by TriStar Pictures and Sony, and it did $31.9 million at the domestic box office and 14.6 internationally. So that's a total global box office $46.5 million. Nothing crazy, but the budget was a modest $15 million. Of course, all numbers US and approximate, but that's a win. Of course, it's going to connect with audiences in the United States, where the Thanksgiving holiday is a major thing down there, and maybe connects a little less overseas in the international markets, but still there's things that I think will give this film and this potential franchise and long running franchise some legs. So let's get into it. Background on the filmmakers, of course, Eli Roth needs no introduction, director of such films as Cabin Fever, Hostel 1 and 2, and of course, Green Inferno. The list goes on. And writer is his childhood friend, Jeff Rendell, who, they have crafted this film. It's definitely a passion project from a couple of horror hounds. And, it's what's also cool is one of the special features on this Blu-ray are the earlier childhood films that Eli and Jeff made together. Some of them are included on this Blu-ray, which is kind of cool to kind of go back and see that. It's a nice inclusion and a nice touch. Plot and overall vibe of the film, man, let's get into it. The plot's pretty straightforward. But it's a fun whodunit cross of a slasher. Some really nice callbacks to some films from yesteryear, including Halloween. It's got some Scream vibes for sure. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I kind of got a couple of Saw vibes as well. And there's a clear shout out to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, of course, as you know, is my goat horror movie. I think it's the best horror movie ever made is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1, the original. So it's cool to see that in there, and a lot of cool set pieces as well. They really took the budget here and stretched it. A lot of it ends up on the screen, and it pays off, and it lands pretty well. Also, now talking about the characters are pretty straightforward. Nothing, a bunch of high school kids. It's nothing crazy, but you can tell that a lot of time and effort went into establishing and creating the villain here. And that's of course John Carver. He walks around in the iconic John Carver mask, and of course the movie's set in Massachusetts, so it's got all the Thanksgiving Day sort of tropes and that sort of stuff in this film throughout it. So of course I think that John Carver as a villain, I really do feel like it could be like he could become like the next Ghostface. And I can just tell you this from personal experience. When Scream came out way back when in the 90s, Ghostface wasn't the iconic character that he was now. Back then it was just like, oh, he's just like it's just like a 90s slasher. In no way, shape, or form was Ghostface to be held in the same conversation as like Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, or anything like that. And then over time, after 5 or 6 movies, he has become this iconic villain and is sort of up in that upper echelon of horror villains now as well. And I think John Carver, if they do this right, I think he could get up there as well over time. So, of course, the sequel for Thanksgiving 2, I'm assuming, has been greenlit by the studio already. So they've definitely got at least one more movie to kind of explore some things here. And I want to come back to that and touch on that in a little while too. So, of course, great to see Patrick Dempsey back in the genre game. Speaking of Scream, star of Scream 3, he's back in another horror flick in this movie. So that's really, really cool, playing the sheriff, of course. And Nell Verlaque, who plays Jessica, the film's heroine. Looks like this is her second feature film. And she's really got something about her. She's very charismatic on screen. And I think that if, with some more time in the franchise, I think she could really carry this franchise for a film or two going forward. She's very interesting to look at as far as her acting ability, and she just has a different kind of look to her. I think that, you could really delve into her character here and really give her something to work with and really give her sort of an arc over 2 or 3 movies. I'm really interested to see kind of what they can do with that in the sequel. Always great to see Rick Hoffman, of course, Lewis from Suits. I just love him. Also, he was in Hostel as well way back when. Great to see him in a horror film. And of course, Gina Gershon as well showing up in this film. Great to see her as well. I hope she does more genre work. I think she's a great fit for it. And it's always awesome to see her on the screen. So now just some minor gripes here. It felt to me like there may have been some studio interference. I think there's a slightly alternate ending on the Blu-ray that I think works a little bit better. No spoilers, of course. And there's a couple other deleted scenes that are also included on the Blu-ray as a special feature. Nice addition on the special feature, but I do feel that they should have been included in the film. So who knows? Maybe there's a director's cut coming. Maybe they were just cut for time. Maybe it was the studio. I have no idea. But look, there's a second movie coming, maybe a third. Who knows? And I do feel like there's some interesting themes that the filmmakers here can explore in a second movie. It does feel like maybe the vibe of the film was supposed to be darker originally, and maybe that was changed. I'm not sure. So I'd love to get some answers on that. If anyone knows, throw your comments down in the comments section below. But there's lots of possibilities for this franchise, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. Now, let's talk about the special effects. Of course, it wouldn't be an Eli Roth movie if there wasn't some blood and some gore. Of course, there's great practical effects work here, great blood work, and Roth gets more entries onto his resume of having some really, really inventive kills. There's a couple of scenes here that I laughed and cringed at the same time. So some really, really inventive stuff. And lo and behold, most of this film was shot in Toronto and Hamilton area. So including Waterdown, Ontario, Port Perry, Ontario. If you're in those vicinities, you probably saw some of these shooting days there. But it does feel kind of like that being like shot in Canada. But it's a cool vibe. It's cool for us to see that on the screen. And of course, it's a little bit sad because, as many of you know, one of my all-time sought after items that I would love to own would be a baseball bat signed by Eli Roth with maybe a little designation from Donnie Donowitz on it, which I would proudly hang in my home next to my signed Joe Carter baseball bat on the wall. So if anyone knows Eli personally, if they want to pass that on, I greatly appreciate it. And Eli, if you're watching this yourself, hit me up, man, and I'll send you my address so you can get that bat to me. Anyway, listen, Thanksgiving, great film. I loved it. I think it's a great sort of holiday slasher. I think it's going to be an annual sort of go-to for a lot of horror fans. And it's cool now that there is a movie that is for the Thanksgiving day or Thanksgiving holiday season. There is a horror movie that you can watch there. And what's so awesome about this is that fake trailer came out 16 years ago. Someone easily could have ripped off this idea. This movie could have gotten made before. Who knows? But it's made now, it's available now, and that's super cool. So you can actually rent it on YouTube. I'll include the links down below, as well as Apple. And of course, go to your local video store, see if they've got Thanksgiving on Blu-ray. You can pick it up there as well. And I'll include the Amazon link down below. So if you want to order it online, you can. So again, Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's, I don't know. It's his passion project. It's his baby. It's great that it exists. And of course, my name's Benner, and this is being another movie review. Please subscribe to the channel. We're going to take another look at the trailer. And until next time, take care.
I've got plenty to be thankful for. My needs are small, I buy 'em all at the 5 and 10 cent store. Oh, I've got plenty to be thankful for.
I used to love this town. Until what happened that night. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I'm tired of pretending like everything is normal and it's not.
I want things to go back to normal, too.
Show some enthusiasm. Thanksgiving is an institution here.
Someone's out for revenge, and they're turning it into a sick holiday game.
This is weird. We're all tagged, and our names are at the table. But why us?
The longer this goes, the more twisted it gets. The weapon he's using is straight off a Thanksgiving table.
I don't want to spend my life looking over my shoulder. We need to stop him.
It is going to be a very happy Thanksgiving.
Let's eat.